The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. Just after 6, it's Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And local news, there's lots of that, and Erin has it up next.
Another sales pitch on the bond issue. We'll talk about that. Tragedy on the roads. And what's going on with AT&T customers?
I don't know. What? I'm an AT&T customer.
You're having trouble.
Oh.
Are you?
Evidently so. Okay. A couple of replays from yesterday. Councilman Grayson Butcher on more and more info about this state audit thing that makes the city look awful. Mm-hmm. And Lewis Johnson, Caddo Commissioner, on rumors regarding the fix being in, so to speak. Going to pick a registrar of voters. Mm-hmm. Going to run Mr. Lewis first, right?
Yeah, it was good
Fletcher
stuff.
and sports, traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
AT&T customers have been complaining about service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem's been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working nonstop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. Another sales pitch on the bond issue. We get that from Reuben Wright.
You have another chance tonight to voice your concerns about the proposed bond issue in Shreveport. The mayor and other city leaders will be at Valencia Park on Viking Drive at 6 p.m. for a community forum to outline the 3 propositions and hear questions from local residents. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
2 fatality crashes. One happened on the Terry Bradshaw Passway near West 70th Street. It happened about 7:30 last night when a pickup truck was headed east, but for some reason left the roadway rolling several times. A woman believed to have been the driver was ejected and pronounced dead. A passenger taken to the hospital. And a Texas man died in a crash in DeSoto Parish. This wreck happened just after 3 p.m. on Highway 171 when a big rig without a trailer ran off the roadway hitting an embankment. The driver, 44-year-old Christopher Jones of Carthage, pronounced dead at the scene. An audit of Shreveport's finances shows some serious concerns in the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones says the administration is committed to establishing best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls. Councilman Grayson Butcher says he hopes these glaring issues will help make things better.
Knowing that you have a problem is the best way to get things done, is to get things fixed, is knowing that there is a problem that exists. And I think that this audit, once it's released, is going to be a real eye-opener for a lot of the citizens.
Butcher confident the administration is taking the steps needed to correct the issues highlighted in the audit. An independent poll surveying the job performance of several elected officials, including Senators John Kennedy and Bill Cassidy, Governor Edwards, and President Trump. Pollster Bernie Pincinat says 54% of the chronic voters polled have a favorable rating of the commander-in-chief compared to 43% who rated him poorly.
Sometimes he goes up to 57, 58, 59, but he also has high negatives with Democrats, 76%.
Meantime, a statewide poll finds that 47% of voters support Governor Edwards as he seeks a second term in office. If he reaches 50% plus one on October 12th, he wins the election outright without a runoff. Republicans Ralph Abraham and Eddie Risponi are at 24 and 16%, respectively. A 9-year-old boy in Ohio had his hot lunch taken away in the school cafeteria, and he was given a cheese sandwich instead because he had a balance on his account. To make matters worse, it was the youngster's birthday. And Madonna says she's got a new policy at all of her concerts in the future. No more cell phones allowed. Concert goers will have to lock them up in little pouches and get them unlocked when they leave the show. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Thursday morning traffic starting us off. Ruben's here.
Starting things off, looking pretty clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
I appreciate that question.
Erin McCarty, that KEEL app is always a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Because I was lazy, because I was not, I walked into the room late and ill-prepared. Mm-hmm. Well, ill-prepared is, I don't have an excuse for that. Late.
Yeah, that's regular.
Late because I was getting somebody her coffee.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Because I had to go into the kitchen and I had to open the new pump bottle.
Oh, good. It's got regular cream in it.
Of anything that's not pumpkin spice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I hate pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm with you, kid. Pumpkin spice is awful. I know that's calumny, sacrilege,
really
and offensive to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I just don't get it. I don't get pumpkin pie. I don't get pumpkin anything. It looks awesome. It tastes awful.
Yeah. We had a lot of people texting and calling us yesterday and emailing about the Registrar of Voters position and how a week from Saturday, I believe it is, the Caddo Commission is going to interview all 19 candidates.
In one day.
In one day, back
in
to back to back.
alphabetical order.
Mm-hmm. And the candidates are going to be sequestered. They're going to want to go in.
Let me
then
ask
he'll
you
sit
something.
and wait.
Let me ask you. If they're going to start that at about like 8 or 9 in the morning, I don't know what time. I don't know what time they're going to start.
Not sure on the start time.
But if they start, let's say theoretically they start at 10, and you got 20 some odd people,
And your poor name starts with a Z.
and you're going to get 15 minutes, which means you're really going to get 20 or 25,
Right.
Because that's just how it works out. Do all the candidates have to be there at time X, or are you given an appointment time to arrive? So
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, who wants to wait? Look, if your name, I'm just thinking who's down toward the end.
if you're Zillow,
Good job. So if you're Emilio Zillow,
right,
and you're last, and they start at 10 in the morning.
can't you just add 30 minutes per person and be there like 6 hours later or whatever?
Exactly. Or do you have to sit in the room with all other 19 guys and go, Mister?
Well, I've had a couple of them tell me they were sequestered. So they had to be separated. They couldn't ask each other questions about the questions. And I don't know how they're doing that. They're going to have a little cubicles for them.
The point I was making about being late and ill-prepared is I didn't listen to the first sentence of the Lewis Johnson interview.
Yeah, but
So how's it start, Ruby?
I was trying to tell you. It's about 7 minutes 50 seconds, and it starts off with, can you talk about that? That's
because of all the rumors and all the not
right.
to mention the fact that maybe they on the Caddo Commission, who are charged with hiring the new registrar of voters to replace outgoing retiring Ernie Robertson. Maybe they're just not allowed to talk about it with us. Maybe it's kind of a secret,
Sure,
or at least a not open process until they begin their meetings. And so evidently, according to Ruben, I was gone. That's kind of where we started with Caddo Commissioner Lewis Johnson. Can you talk about it? What can you tell us? Can you give us any look behind the curtain?
I appreciate that question. I think that primarily the conversation that I've had for the most part is simply awaiting the information as relates to the various candidates. Of course, we've had opportunities to speak to several of the candidates by phone or email or visits otherwise. But I think for the most part, we've just simply talked about who we know as best we can and have examined the resumes and kind of moving forward from there.
Lewis, I'm sorry I call you Lewis.
That's okay. That's who I am.
We go back a little ways.
That's right.
There's the talk that the 6 Democrats are going to hold out for one particular candidate, and that you're not going to budge, and that the deal is in, the fix is in. And then I've had other people tell me that they're hearing that Lewis Johnson is not going to be a part of that. He won't play a role in that he's going to vote for the best candidate. So let me ask you, is that what you're going to do? And if yes, what are you looking for in the candidate?
My goodness. I don't know if I fully understand or agree with that question, the way that you phrased it.
Okay.
So let me address that, if you would.
Fix my question for me.
No, I'm going to stick to your question.
No, I mean fix it.
Fix it. Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you. And the reason I say that is that you're speaking specifically about the black candidates, and that's fine. Okay. And every candidate, every commissioner has both a right and a responsibility to vote. We'll agree on that.
You bet.
Now, with that being the case, I am no different from not only any of the other black candidates, I'm no different from any of the other white candidates. So to suggest that I am going to not vote with anyone else and vote for who I think is the best candidate, that would be accurate. But I also feel strongly, and I'm convinced that every other member is voting for who they think is the best candidate. So with that question as it is, it appears that because it's been said, or I guess it's been said, that some of the black candidates have gotten together, that they are not voting for the best candidate. And I disagree with that. So to answer your question, yes, I am going to look at the resumes, which is what I am doing and have done. And I think the other commissioners are doing the same, both black and white. And I'm going to make a vote based on who I think is the best. But I think that every other candidate, including the black commissioners, are going to vote for who they think is the best candidate. So I'm not any different in that respect.
Have you heard that rumor, though, that the Democratic commissioners were going to hold out. I mean, I've gotten it from two pretty reliable folks who said the Democrats were going to form a bond and not budge on their vote. Have you heard the rumor?
I appreciate the question. In the position that I am in, I make it a practice, and it's served me pretty well to recognize and to view rumors as just that. But to answer your question specifically, I have heard that rumor and others. I heard that my fellow commissioners, as relates to the Republican commissioners, have met and made a decision to do the same. I do not hold that to be so because I do not know that to be so.
Gotcha.
But, of course, I know that it's been said that the black commissioners have met prior. I'm very well aware of that. So, yes, I am aware of that, and I have heard the rumor of that. And on the other side, and a number of other rumors as well.
Mr. Lewis, on the other hand, setting all of these rumors aside, at some point, coalitions are in fact going to have to be formed, deals, and I don't mean that in a nasty or political way. Deals are going to have to be made. Guys are going to have to get together for a candidate to get the required, I think it's 7 votes, right? So
yes, as I appreciate it is 7, Robert.
Going into this, how close do you think you might be? I mean, this is almost like picking a presidential candidate at a convention that doesn't have a clear-cut majority. You could have, there's 12 of you guys. It could be 12 different votes. How long do you
Absolutely.
anticipate it's going to take to put a deal together to settle on one guy or one?
I really appreciate that question, and that's not nasty at all. And it's really not political. It's just the way that the rules identify the process. So that's not a bad thing. And I really don't know, but I don't really think that. I don't see there being 1 for this guy and 2 for that guy or that type of thing. So as it relates to coalition, I don't know, but it sounds like that's viewed as a negative thing, but I don't view it as necessarily negative. And the reason I do not is that throughout my time on the commission, it is not, as you can appreciate, it's not uncommon for people, be it myself and whomever, or be it John and Stormy or whomever, people who have interests, it's not uncommon to communicate those interests prior in order to get a pretty much a consensus as to where different people are. So I don't know what it would take, and of course I can see how it could take several rounds in order to identify candidates that we're going to go with. And the reason I can see that is because after looking at the resumes, I tell you, we have a group of really, really quality and qualified candidates. So it will not be an easy task in that respect. But I think that there are obviously some who have a lean one way or another. So I don't see it being a very long process, but it potentially could be.
Lewis, pretend like I'm let's say, state senator, and I call you up. And I say, Lewis, we're friends. We go back a long way. I really need you to support this guy for registrar of voters. A, is that appropriate? B, what do you tell that elected official? And let's pretend it's any elected official. What do you say to him?
And I would imagine that's happened to almost all of you guys at this point, right?
Yes. I would say now, whether or not it's appropriate, I don't know if I could really answer that. I think there are some who would say, well, that's not appropriate. And I respect that. But anyone who is going to be absolutely honest and transparent, whether it's in a political realm, professional, or personal, if I have a relationship or if I have a friend, if I need some tickets to the Captain Street game, I might call and say, hey, man, you guys got any tickets to the game? Which is simply what people with relationships do. But if a senator or anyone calls me and they are asking me to vote a particular way, simply based on their relationship with a candidate, be it appropriate or inappropriate, I am not, and I will not make a vote based on that. But nor do I find it to be a negative thing because I've done this long enough, as have you, to know that those things do happen. But because of the responsibility and the confidence that the people who elected me have in me, they expect me to use a greater criteria than that to decide who I vote on and to whom I give my vote. So I would not do that, but that does happen. It has happened at one point or another, on one vote or another, and I understand that, but I am not inclined to do that, and I can stand and say that I have not done it, and I will not do it.
1017 FM's 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic time, Ruben's rating.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.117 FM and 710 Keel and Sports Time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The second week of the NFL season kicks off with an NFC South clash between Carolina and Tampa Bay. Both teams suffered losses in their openers, with the Panthers nearly upsetting the Rams, while the Bucs blundered their way to a 2-touchdown loss at home against San Francisco. The Saints were the only NFC South team to win their opener, but they certainly had some problems in that wild win over Houston. The team should be better in the trenches defensively this week with the return of defensive tackle David Onyemata, who served a one-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Teammate Sheldon Rankin said Onyemata is, quote, a literal quiet storm. He doesn't really say much until he hits the white lines, and then he talks the most trash of probably anybody on the team. There will most likely be a large amount of trash talking Sunday when the Saints battle the Rams in California in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship that turned on a controversial no-call late in the game. High school football week 2 in Louisiana kicks off tonight with Magnolia Charter hosting Wassman at Loyola's Messer Stadium. The Astros took it on the chin, falling 5-3 to Oakland last night, but it was a monumental night in Major League Baseball when Jonathan Villar of the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on Wednesday for the 6,106th home run of the season, setting a Major League record. Overall, not Villar, he only has 22. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, and you okay down there?
I'm good. With the rest
you
of
were
my chin.
Looked like you were going to tip over.
No, I'm not tipping over.
Robert J. Wright and
tipping
Erin
today.
McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884.
You make me feel like there's a thing called cow tipping. Now you make me feel like there's some things called Erin tipping.
Erin tipping, yeah, the big country star. 2, 3, 4. Thank you. Tell me about your Loving Solutions. Nick Getters, who is the head of pharmacology, toxicology, and neuroscience. Thank you, Nick. At LSU Health at the medical school.
Yeah.
You know, so many changes, I have no idea. What the proper name, what the correct name for both the hospital, auctioneer, LSU. I don't know.
I get it mixed up too.
What's the hospital? Auctioneer's the hospital, but LSU Health Medicals
is
is
medical
still
school.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
He's at one of those.
Yes.
Or both.
The Saturday is the Fishing for Souls Bass Tournament. It's going on at Toledo Bend. $10,000 for first place.
What?
$10,000. If you like fishing, if you know anyone into fishing, the Fishing for Souls Bass Tournament, all you have to do is go to the Loving Solutions Facebook page and get details. It all kicks off early Saturday morning.
In about 30 seconds, tell us what Loving Solutions is we don't know. Sort of a re-entry home for women methamphetamine addicts.
It is a home for crystal meth addicts who are trying to start their life over, and it's Christ-centered. It is an absolute delight of a location, which I can't obviously tell you, but it is it's a beautiful setting. It's calming. It's spirit-based, God-centered, and a healthy way for these women to get a new start on life.
So info
I'm
is
hoping you'll help.
on
Yeah.
Loving Solutions on their Facebook page.
Yes, just look up Loving Solutions on Facebook. You'll see the Fishing for Souls Bass Tournament. I hope you'll join all those folks at Toledo Bend this Saturday.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic now. Ruben's here.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Have you wanted to speak at
Information. KEEL News now.
You have another chance tonight to voice concerns about the proposed bond issue in Shreveport. The mayor and other city leaders will be at Valencia Park on Viking Drive at 6 p.m. for a community forum to outline the three propositions and hear questions from local residents. It's tonight at Valencia Park, again on Viking Drive. Trouble with one telecommunications company. Reuben Wright with that.
AT&T customers have been complaining about the service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem has been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working non-stop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Trouble with an audit in the Shreveport... Beep, beep, beep. Trouble with an audit of Shreveport's finances. It shows some serious concerns in the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones says, though, the administration is committed to establishing best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls, and changes are being made. Councilman Grayson Butcher, though, has some serious concerns.
It's just it's a very scary thing for a city that's teetering on bankruptcy anyway, for us to be in a situation like this.
You just said our city's teetering on bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, it is. I feel like it is. I mean, we have a lot going on, and I mean, you think about all the debt that we have, Erin. You and I have discussed this before.
Fields-Jones says the administration takes the matter seriously and has been extremely proactive in addressing concerns. On a 3-2 vote, the Public Service Commission gave the thumbs up on new rules that will lower the amount power companies pay solar users that feed their excess energy into the grid from 10 cents per kilowatt hour to 4 cents. Public Service Commissioner Foster Campbell voted against the measure.
They don't want you to have it, but they want to get in the business, and they want to have a lot of solar power. How hypocritical can you be? If it's not a good thing for the people, it certainly couldn't be a good thing for the companies.
Commissioner Mike Francis voted in favor of the payout changes, but says even with the changes, Louisiana has much more affordable energy costs than other states. Another vaping-related illness, this one in Austin, Texas. Dr. David Kaler, an emergency room doctor at Baylor just outside of Austin, where the patient is being treated.
The bottom line is you shouldn't do it. And even if you don't have the horrible effects of having one of these lung diseases, I mean, the long-term effects we just don't know.
This comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention investigates 6 deaths and more than 450 cases of lung illnesses nationwide. Parts of the Bahamas left in ruins after Hurricane Dorian swept over the country as a Category 5 storm. At least 50 deaths confirmed, but that number expected to rise, with an estimated 2,500 still missing. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis spoke in a televised address.
More than ever, we must live the values of the gospel in order to renew the face of God's earth on Abaco and Grand Bahama that has been destroyed by one of the gravest tragedies in our history.
During the address, he announced a future National Day of Mourning would be held to pay tribute to the victims. New nominees to the Toy Hall of Fame. The smartphone is on the list because you can play so many games on it. Also nominated this year, Matchbox Cars, The Coloring Book, Jenga, My Little Pony, and Care Bears. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm sorry? A replay of Councilman Grayson Butcher in a couple of seconds.
Grayson Boucher.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. So not to give anything away in the interview we had with Grayson yesterday, but they tried, well, what he said to us was the city is teetering on the verge of bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. And they tried to get him to say that on TV last. You feel like you feel like they were baiting him, trying to get him to.
It looked like it, and I don't think he said the same quote. I'll have to watch the full interview, but I don't. Teetering on bankruptcy, strong.
You know, in that same interview you had, and it's on the website at keelnews.com. Download the Keel app. It's awesome. There is your list of the greatest singular lines.
Yeah.
Singular statements.
Mm-hmm. We had to add one
on Keel over the last 5 years since we started this show.
Mm-hmm.
And you added one yesterday. Hold on, I wrote this down.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, it's on the recording we're playing next.
Yes, it is. And at one point you say to Grayson, in reference to the info in the audit, the internal audit that's being released. What is glaring out the loudest?
Come on now.
Even that took him aback.
Yeah,
Grayson's tough to throw. He went like, you could hear the cartoon noise in his brain.
He even laughed and said, well, that's kind of glaring. Yeah, that glares a little bit.
What is glaring out the loudest?
Yeah.
Would you care to walk us through that thought process, or was it just the pressure of the moment?
No, it's just my brilliance, I guess. My brilliance is overflowing.
There's only one award winner in here, and it ain't me and Ruben.
That's true.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, a replay of our interview yesterday with Councilman Grayson Butcher in a couple of seconds. Right now, traffic time.
Starting things off, looking pretty clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Ruben's in my dog house. We'll tell you about that just after 7 o'clock, I guess. Maybe right before 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Nice job, Spud.
Sorry.
101. I had lunch in the palm of my hand. I had Papa and Company lunch.
He did.
From McCarty in the palm of my hand.
I'd have never gotten it.
I was holding it.
Mm-hmm.
I had my burger from Papa and Company in my hand, and you came up and went, "You don't need that, little man."
I have no burger to gain in this situation. So
she was going to buy for you too. You just don't know that yet.
Yeah.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty a chat yesterday. Who does this external audit of city finances for 2018?
It's the Legislative Auditor's Office in Baton Rouge. It's for the full city finances.
And bit by bit, info about this audit is sort of being made public. Slowly they turn inch by inch.
Yes.
And so we had a chat with City Councilman Grayson Butcher yesterday. That's kind of where we started, what we had heard. I think you said, yeesh, and that's the noise you made. Yeesh. Doesn't look too good, does it?
It does not. No, there are probably. I went through it and looked and have not studied it extensively, but there are probably about 20 pages of findings in the report.
What jumps off? What glares out the loudest?
well phrased.
Well, the whole thing is pretty loud to me, but basically it's just lack of oversight in our accounting department, from not filing payroll taxes on time to oversight when it comes to the insurance of our money in the bank. There was about $9 million that was not properly insured by the FDIC in 3 different bank accounts. It's just it's a very scary thing for a city that's teetering on bankruptcy anyway, for us to be in a situation like this.
You just said our city's teetering on bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, it is. I feel like it is. I mean, we have a lot going on, and I mean, you think about all the debt that we have, Erin. You and I have discussed this before. We have, $245 million in unfunded debt for our retirement and pension fund. I think you saw that in the last council meeting. We have debt for the consent decree that was estimated at, $500 million. It's going to end up being over $1 billion. I mean, we're sucking fumes out there.
And so we're going to take on some more debt in November, aren't we?
Well, that's going to be up to the taxpayers. We do have some immediate needs. We have, I've called it a public safety emergency with the age of our fire trucks and the police station and things like that. But that's going to be up to the taxpayers when it comes to the bond issue.
Mr. Grayson, going back to the audit here for a little bit, what stretch of time does this audit cover from? Is it just for 2018, 2017, 18? Fill me in on that.
Well, Robert, that's one thing I wanted to point out. This audit covers 2018 from January 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018. So this was the prior administration and prior council. So I want to make that perfectly clear. I think that Mayor Perkins' team has been working with the auditor to try to put a lot of corrective measures in place. Now, I guess the proof is going to be in the pudding whenever we have the 2019 audit. But hopefully we've got these corrective measures in place, and we're not making the mistakes that we made last year.
How? And I know you've only been on the council since the first of the year, and this covers 2018. But as you sort of get a look behind the curtain of the bureaucracy of the city of Shreveport, and this audit, this external look at behind the curtain is pointing out all these problems, disasters even. How you got to be saying to yourself, how can this happen? You and the other council people have to be saying, where do we start to patch all the leaks, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, the boat is, at times I tell people this all the time. I feel like that maybe I'm just polishing the brass on the Titanic, and I know that's kind of harsh to say, but it's kind of the way we feel because there are a lot of problems in the city of Shreveport. Having said that, there are a lot of people that are wanting to make the problems go away and that are working to make things better. So I'm not trying to sound an alarm that things are horrible, but we have some real issues in this city.
Assuming for the moment that the council and Mayor Perkins are able to get together to want to fix all of this, and I think that's a pretty easy assumption, pardon me, but the bureaucracy being what it is, I mean, I say on the radio all the time, you've heard me, Shreveport has its own, to some degree, deep state. What kind of resistance, what kind of blowback do you anticipate from the people in that city bureaucracy, or have you found to this point in your tenure as a councilman that they are willing to help to clean things up?
Well, I've said this over and over again, and I really believe this. I don't think that there's anybody in city government right now that wants Shreveport to fail. So I think that that's a positive that we have going for us, that we all want the city to be successful. Now, we may get there in different directions, going different ways, and we may have different ideas of how we're to get from point A to point B. But I don't feel like that there's anybody that's wanting to destroy the city of Shreveport. So I think that that's one thing. I think the other thing is just coming to grips with, look, we have some real issues here. And I think that you've heard myself and a few other council members say that over and over again. The deeper we look into this, that we have some issues in Shreveport. And I think that, knowing that you have a problem is the best way to get things done, is to get things fixed, is knowing that there is a problem that exists. And I think that this audit, once it's released, is going to be a real eye-opener for a lot of the citizens.
When I go read this weekend, because, I don't have a life, am I going to be, is this going to be one of the worst I've ever seen? Because I read audits, I love that stuff.
Well, and Erin, you and I are a lot alike. I'm kind of an audit nerd myself. I read pretty much everybody's audit and have for several years. I will say this: I have not read one that had this many findings that were this serious. I mean, it goes to keeping up with comp time and vacation time of the police officers, that it's manually done as opposed to being done in a computer. I mean, I can remember when I was the chief at Fire District 5 15 years ago, we had a spreadsheet set up that we did our comp time and vacation. They're still doing it by hand, or maybe it is in spreadsheets, but it's not done in a system that everybody has. I mean, you got that going on. You've got, come on, filing your employer tax records to the LDR late 2 times in a row, and then paying a $200 and some odd thousand fine that really does not have to be paid because municipalities don't have to pay that fine, then having to get the money refunded. I mean, it's over and over and over again. So I would suggest, Erin, that you may want to do it at night, maybe after you've had a beverage or two.
Ah, okay, an adult one, yeah.
Okay, so there is going to be on the ballot in November a bond issue, a proposal, $186 million. There's a lot of people who look at the police station, the fire trucks, all the things with the city, infrastructure, streets, roads, etc., that you mentioned, that said, we really need to make some improvements here. We need to up the game. And yet at the same time, this audit says, hey, voters, maybe you can't trust the machine itself, i.e. the government of Shreveport, the bureaucracy of Shreveport, because I'm not going to blame any specific person going back over in 2018. But how do you as a councilman, how do you as a voter, when you say, look, I know we need this stuff, but how do we know that if it passes, that it will be properly implemented?
Well, I've said this all along, and I think you can go back and listen to what I've said to Erin and you over the last couple of months. I feel like that we should have taken this bond in smaller pieces. I feel like the police and fire are critical state of emergency. We have to get those done. I will be voting for Proposition 2. My wife will be voting for Proposition 2. I don't agree with some of the numbers that are in there, but I do feel like that it's that critical that we have to have these things to keep Shreveport moving forward and to keep our police officers and firefighters safe.
So you vote no on the other two?
What's that?
You vote no on the other two?
I'm going to be just like every other citizen. I'm going to listen to what the mayor has to say, and I want to see what safeguards we're going to put in place after this audit comes up. They've assured us at the council meeting Monday that they were putting safeguards in place. But the biggest thing that I think as elected officials and city officials and employees, the first and foremost we need to be is good stewards of the taxpayers' money.
One more thing, Grayson, we got to let you go. A little bird told me that the 3 nay votes, you, Nicholson, and Fuller, went into a meeting with the mayor after the meeting. And maybe there was a pitch thrown at you or something like that. Is that accurate? What was that about?
Okay, we did go into a meeting with the mayor. That was, I called the mayor and asked him to meet with me on something, I would say kind of related to the bond, but unrelated to any pitch. I told him exactly what I told y'all today about how I feel about the bond.
And what was his pitch to you guys?
There really wasn't a pitch. We discussed that. Then we discussed some zoning issues that are going on in Councilman Nicholson's district and a couple of other small issues. We did discuss the audit a little bit, but there really wasn't a pitch. I am not going to actively go out and campaign against this bond issue, but I am going to ask the questions similar to what y'all are asking me. Can we actually manage $186 million right now? And at this point, I'm a little concerned about that.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, traffic time. Ruben's here.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got to clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 northbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.1017 FM and 710 Keel, and time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The second week of the NFL season kicks off with an NFC South clash between Carolina and Tampa Bay. Both teams suffered losses in their openers, with the Panthers nearly upsetting the Rams, while the Bucs blundered their way to a 2-touchdown loss at home against San Francisco. The Saints were the only NFC South team to win their opener, but they certainly had some problems in that wild win over Houston. The team should be better in the trenches defensively this week with the return of defensive tackle David Onyemata, who served a one-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Teammate Sheldon Rankin said Onyemata is, quote, a literal quiet storm. He doesn't really say much until he hits the white lines, and then he talks the most trash of probably anybody on the team. There will most likely be a large amount of trash talking Sunday when the Saints battle the Rams in California in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship that turned on a controversial no call late in the game. High school football week 2 in Louisiana kicks off tonight with Magnolia Charter hosting Wassman at Loyola's Messer Stadium. The Astros took it on the chin, falling 5-3 to Oakland last night, but it was a monumental night in Major League Baseball when Jonathan Villar of the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on Wednesday for the 6,106th home run of the season, setting a Major League record. Overall, not Villar, he only has 22. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Fox News just a couple of seconds away. Hold on. Right now, here's Rush on Keel.
A vegan activist. Why does a vegan have to be an activist? Well, anyway, there was one in Spain. Made headlines last week. She claimed that she was severely beaten while rescuing poor little bunny rabbits from a local farm. In a social media post, the activist, who calls herself Mythical Mia, said that she and a bunch of her accomplices entered a privately owned rabbit farm where they saved 16 lives. She said the farmer was extremely aggressive, attacking the activist with metal poles. So the police were called, and they ordered the vegan activists to leave. And they did, only to be chased down the highway by a group of farmers who surrounded their cars. The police were called again. They rescued the vegan activists from the angry farmers. They escorted them to a safe place. The story's still not over. In all the chaos, in their zeal to rescue these bunny rabbits, the vegan activists reportedly killed 5 rabbits who were about to give birth. Other rabbits were fatally injured. Sadly, many of the rabbits that were rescued by the vegans were mother bunnies who had been nursing baby bunnies who couldn't survive without them. In total, 100 rabbits had to be euthanized because these vegan activists decided they wanted to rescue 16 bunnies. These are the ingredients of a left-wing vegan rabbit stew, which nobody with a lick of sense should want to consume. Why do we need vegan activists? Activists for what? You want to eat that stuff? Eat it. Leave us alone.
Start things off looking pretty clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Keel Weather Channel forecast, mostly sunny, hot, and humid again today. Upper 90s the high. Right now, 71 degrees at Keel.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL, 710 AM and K269GO, 1017 FM, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. Just past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and Erin has local news up next.
Bond proposal pitch happening again tonight. If you have questions, now's your chance. 2 fatality wrecks in our community last night. We'll talk more about that. And some serious questions about Shreveport's finances.
Boy, no kidding. And the question I asked you off the air that you said, ooh, that's a pretty good question, I will make public in just moments.
And we got a response from the administration on the audit, too.
Fletcher has sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Tragedy on the roads. Reuben Wright has details.
A fatal crash on the Terry Bradshaw Passway near West 70th Street happened Wednesday night around 7:30 when a pickup truck was headed east, but for some reason left the roadway and rolled several times. A woman believed to have been the driver was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger was taken to a local hospital. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
And a Texas man has died in a crash in DeSoto Parish. It happened just after 3 p.m. on Highway 171 when a big rig without a trailer ran off the roadway, hitting an embankment. The driver, 44-year-old Christopher Jones of Carthage, was pronounced dead at the scene. A domestic violence suspect lands a 75-year prison sentence for several counts of aggravated assault on his estranged wife. 31-year-old Davin Demond Dale facing a series of charges in connection to the attack, but decided to plead guilty. An audit of Shreveport's finances showing some serious concerns within the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones telling KEEL News the administration is committed to establishing the best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls. Councilman Grayson Butcher, though, says he has some serious concerns about that audit.
It's just lack of oversight in our accounting department, from not filing payroll taxes on time to oversight when it comes to the insurance of our money in the bank.
Fields-Jones says the city has taken action on each audit finding. Each finding's either been resolved or tighter controls are currently being implemented. AT&T customers have been complaining about service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem's been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working nonstop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. Louisiana's uninsured rate dropped to 8% in 2018, below the national average of 8.9%. Progressive advocate and Louisiana Budget Project Executive Director Jan Mueller says the uninsured rate has been cut in half since 2013, thanks to the governor's Medicaid expansion.
That decision has led to more than 450,000 of our fellow Louisianans getting coverage.
The uninsured rate as of 2013 was 16.6% in Louisiana per the census. LSU quarterback Joe Burrow's incredible 81.8% completion percentage may be thanks in part to some cutting-edge science that tracked the receivers' optimal routes based on their eye strength. Over the summer, LSU Athletic Director of Training Jack Marucci wanted to find out why the team dropped so many passes last season. He says the answer was inspired by another sport.
I got it from hitters. When I go to spring training, I always want to know what makes up a good hitter. Why are they able to see the ball differently, and why do they hit in these different zones? Why?
He found that 85 to 90% of dropped passes came on routes where receivers had to rely on their non-dominant eye. While we're talking about baseball, the Mets honored the 911 first responders in a game against Arizona. They beat Arizona, scoring 9 runs on 11 hits. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Traffic time from Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway near Linwood Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettig at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Getting tight. Is that what you said?
It is. It's interesting.
Before we get to the bond issue stuff.
Okay.
And believe me, the tentacles of this is just getting more. It all ties together. You know, the people that tell us, I listen to you guys. The more I listen, the more I realize what did we talk about yesterday, Ruben? It's It's like a soap opera. He's been here about a month and he's going, man, this is just like it's like Falcon Crest. It's like Dallas.
It's Ratchet City, Peyton Place.
I'll go with that.
I think you might want to work on that song. The point I was going to make was, before we get to the bond issue stuff, I want you to sing for everyone again the song you were singing just a couple of minutes ago, the Led Zeppelin class.
Hey, mama, the way you move, I'll make you. Was that it?
Yeah. Yes.
Make you groove.
Except
hey,
you were getting.
Whoa, mama.
You were reversing it, so it was make you groove, make you sweat,
make you groove, make you sweat.
I want to let, and then you were something about a lunch buffet. I didn't know what the hell that was about. And I told Erin, look, I will take you to Papa and Company for lunch. I will buy you lunch at Papa and Company if you can tell me the name of the artist and the name of the song.
No clue.
Hey, Hey Mama, gonna make you sweat, etc.
Isn't it Hey Hey Mama? Isn't that the name of it?
No.
She doesn't remember. We could do the bet all over again.
I don't remember what y'all said.
And out of the blue, Ruben goes, Black Dog, Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
I went,
Black Dog.
Man, you gave it away.
Oh, man, yeah.
There was no burger for me in the fight is the problem.
Yeah, we need to throw a burger in for him every
I
now
had
and then.
lunch in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, you did.
And thanks to our relatively new and soon-to-be departed producer, it's gone now. Okay, so online at KEELnews.com, we've had a poll for a while. Erin has had a poll regarding the upcoming bond issue in November. $186 million, 3 parts: water and sewer, police station stuff, and what's the third? I forget offhand.
Streets and drainage.
Thank you very much. Okay.
And there is a poll in here. Of course, it's got the full verbiage of what's going to be on the ballot. So if you're like me, you're a geek, you want to know what's it going to say ahead of time, you can go read it. And then there's a poll at the bottom that says, how will you vote?
See, I haven't taken this yet.
Oh, you need to.
So I've got it up in front of me right now.
Okay.
Question 1 on your poll online, KEELnews.com,
Yep.
KEEL app. How will you vote on Prop 1, which provides $32 million for water and sewer projects?
Projects, yeah.
Projects. Okay, there's that.
The results right now are really intriguing to me.
Go ahead.
Because 55% say yes, they will support this one. 42% say no, and 3% are undecided.
Question 2, how will you vote on Prop 2, which provides $76 million for police, fire, and SPAR projects?
64% say yes, 34% no, and only 2% undecided.
This is really well done.
This is going to pass. That one's going to pass, no problem.
Question 3, how will you vote on Prop 3, which provides $77 million for streets and drainage projects?
This is the one that, according to our unscientific poll,
pretty close.
52 say yes, 45% say no, with 3% undecided.
So here's my question, and sort of dovetail this, connect this with our conversation yesterday with Councilman Grayson Butcher, and more of the info sort of being made public about this state auditor's audit of Shreveport's finances for 2018. What has all along been the biggest beef of yours regarding these 3 proposals?
Show me how we're going to manage this sizable amount of a bond issue.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
We've struggled in the past with this.
Show me, says Erin McCarty, that you, the city of Shreveport, are capable of managing $186 million and a whole bunch of projects over the allotted time. Is that a fair statement on my part?
I mean, we're still lagging behind on getting stuff done from 2011.
Now, in a sentence or two, explain to everybody, follow Erin on this now, explain to everyone in a sentence or two the results of the state auditor's findings pertaining to Shreveport's financial operation in 2018.
Not good. There are some glaring issues in the finance department with regard to mismanagement, lack of reporting, lack of follow-up, lack of filing the proper documents. The full audit's not out yet. I'm hoping it's here in time for me to read it over the weekend because I love to read this stuff on the weekends. And it's not out yet. I'm going to call the legislative auditor today.
Let me throw, as my daddy used to say, let me throw this out at you and see what you think.
Okay.
Is it possible that Mayor Adrian Perkins, who became mayor in January or late December, actually, of 2018, let's say January of this year, is Mayor Adrian Perkins, is it possible that this mayor, about whom this financial report, this audit had nothing to do with the current administration, zero
right
to do with the current administration, But is it possible, and I want to know what you think, what is in your mind based on your considerations of what might make you go, no, I just don't think we can handle it. Hell, even Councilman Butcher said that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Can we really handle all these projects under an umbrella of $186 million?
And do we need to take on this much debt when we're, quote, teetering on bankruptcy?
Is it possible that this mayor, about whom that audit has nothing to do with Mayor Perkins, is it possible that this Mayor Perkins, may pay the price for the sins of previous administrations for their mishandling?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at, we're going to go to break as soon as I finish this.
I need to read the statement from the mayor's office,
okay,
though.
we can get it when we get back, or we can get it before the break. But the point is this. Does all of this, how many times hell, you hear it all the time, the federal government, the deep state, that it's an entity unto itself, that nobody can really stop or nobody really controls its operation.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that pertaining to the bureaucracy in Baton Rouge. How I say all the time, if every state worker, if every single state worker had the best interests of the citizenry of Louisiana, if they were honest and above board and efficient, would it still matter because of the ponderous, this
right
bureaucracy that seems unstoppable? Well, do we really have a Shreveport deep state too?
I don't know.
When you're writing checks for $180-something thousand and nobody seems to know. When you get an audit report back from the state auditor saying, you guys, nobody seems to have a handle on this.
Right.
Not that it has anything to do with this mayor, and I want to underline that again, but is it possible that is anybody really flying the boat? Is anybody really in charge?
Let me read a part of the statement from Sharika Fields-Jones, CAO, because I asked for the mayor's comment about the audit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it'll be posted online. You can get it through the KEEL app. The city has taken action on each audit finding. Each finding has either been resolved or tighter controls are currently being implemented. That was part of the statement. The whole thing will be up on our website shortly.
Okay, you heard my question. Is it possible that this mayor is going to pay for the sins of previous administration?
It's a real possibility.
I want you to think about it. Expound on that when we get back. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Texas Avenue near Mansfield Road, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
There's a clear
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The second week of the NFL season kicks off with an NFC South clash between Carolina and Tampa Bay. Both teams suffered losses in their openers, with the Panthers nearly upsetting the Rams, while the Bucs blundered their way to a 2-touchdown loss at home against San Francisco. The Saints were the only NFC South team to win their opener, but they certainly had some problems in that wild win over Houston. The team should be better in the trenches defensively this week with the return of defensive tackle David Onyemata, who served a one-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Teammate Sheldon Rankin said Onyemata is, quote, a literal quiet storm. He doesn't really say much until he hits the white lines, and then he talks the most trash of probably anybody on the team. There will most likely be a large amount of trash talking Sunday when the Saints battle the Rams in California in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship that turned on a controversial no-call late in the game. High school football week 2 in Louisiana kicks off tonight, with Magnolia Charter hosting Wassman at Loyola's Messer Stadium. The Astros took it on the chin, falling 5-3 to Oakland last night, but it was a monumental night in Major League Baseball when Jonathan Villar of the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on Wednesday for the 6,106th home run of the season, setting a Major League record. Overall, not Villar, he only has 22. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Listen, Led Zeppelin.
Hey, hey, Mama. Is that Hey, Hey, Mama?
Yes, Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Playing it right now. Yeah. Dwayne Allman, lead player for Led Zeppelin. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. So answer my question. Is Mayor Perkins, is his administration, is he going to pay? When it comes to the bond issue this fall, is he going to pay for the sins of previous administrations? Errors, let's call them errors. Give me a word. Sins, errors, mistakes.
Deficiencies.
Good word. Of previous administrations as are being
that
shown
happens.
In the state auditor's budget.
That happens from administration to administration. If you'll recall, Mayor Ollie Tyler got in office and realized, gosh, we have such a backlog of bond issue projects to get to. We're just going to have to tear the streets up across the entire city. And everybody griped for 2 years that all the roads were torn up.
Let me phrase it this way. With the information that is in the state auditors, the results that are coming out of the what is it, the state legislators auditor?
State legislative auditor, yeah.
Thank you. It's very confusing to me. With this information coming out from this external audit of the city, and your biggest concern being whether or not the city can handle $186 million in projects and do it efficiently and do it fairly without, what did you call it? It was a slush fund. I said, hey, that might be a little strong. You said, I don't think so. The point being, finding out what we are finding out about Shreveport's finance, the operation in 2018, does it make you even less inclined to vote to vote for the bond issue?
I would have to say yes.
Or does the
But
mayor's...
I know we have horribly important needs that we really must address. So, I'm torn. My heart is torn. And when I hear my son say, my son's words echo in my brain all the time, that this city looks like a town nobody cares about. Well, this bond issue will help show that we care about our town and we care about our city. And I had lunch the other day with somebody who's from New York City who said, you guys don't know how good you have it. You have an incredible city. You have a small town city with so many big town amenities. You have a symphony orchestra. You have a ballet. You have the Strand. You have the Rose Center. You have transportation infrastructure here where you can get from point A to point B. In 15 minutes, you're everywhere. Not to mention the great food you have. There were so many things she mentioned that I thought, when you're in the forest, sometimes you can't see the trees, and sometimes you really have to get out of the forest.
I think you got that backwards.
Whatever it is.
No, it's a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, it was a good band.
Yeah.
But you have to, when you're in the middle of it and you're whining and you're griping about everything, you have to really sit back and think, we don't spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour in traffic getting to and from work every day. That doesn't happen here. That happens in Baton Rouge. That happens in Dallas and Houston and Atlanta.
So back to my original question.
Is he going to be penalized?
When the auditor's results come out.
Ugh.
I mean,
I'm looking at the auditor's page yet. It's not up yet.
Is gross mismanagement an overstatement on my part? If I say it will show gross mismanagement, when a city councilman says we are a city teetering on the brink of bankruptcy or whatever Grayson's quote was, and I'm pretty damn close.
Pretty close.
Does the fact that all this happened, how does knowing that affect your decision this November when it comes to what a new mayor who had nothing to do with all of that wants to do?
I really need to see, and I've looked at what they've put online, and it's impressive, it's pretty, beautiful pictures and all that stuff. But I still have questions about some things they've put in this bond issue that weren't even brought up by the Citizens Advisory Committee, i.e. Fairgrounds Field being torn down. That wasn't even mentioned.
To me, at this point, it's more about the machine itself.
And how are you going to get all this done?
The machine of city government, the machine of the Shreveport bureaucracy, the deep state that seems to just be plodding along. Like I said, is anybody really at the wheel? That wasn't fair. Can anyone really take the wheel of the deep state machine and make it function efficiently?
Or is it just a train on an autopilot and it keeps moving?
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local news next. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway near Linwood Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
You have another chance tonight to voice concerns about the proposed bond issue in Shreveport. The mayor and other city leaders will be at Valencia Park on Viking Drive at 6 p.m. for a community forum to outline the three propositions and hear questions from local residents. It's tonight at Valencia Park, again on Viking Drive. Trouble with one telecommunications company. Reuben Wright with that.
AT&T customers have been complaining about the service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem has been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working non-stop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Trouble with an audit of Shreveport's finances. It shows some serious concerns in the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones says, though, the administration is committed to establishing best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls, and changes are being made. Councilman Grayson Butcher, though, has some serious concerns.
It's just it's a very scary thing for a city that's teetering on bankruptcy anyway, for us to be in a situation like this.
You just said our city's teetering on bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, it is. I feel like it is. I mean, we have a lot going on, and I mean, you think about all the debt that we have, Erin. You and I have discussed this before.
Fields-Jones says the administration takes the matter seriously and has been extremely proactive in addressing concerns. On a 3-2 vote, the Public Service Commission gave the thumbs up on new rules that will lower the amount power companies pay solar users that feed their excess energy into the grid from 10 cents per kilowatt hour to 4 cents. Public Service Commissioner Foster Campbell voted against the measure.
They don't want you to have it, but they want to get into business, and they want to have a lot of solar power. How hypocritical can you be? If it's not a good thing for the people, it certainly couldn't be a good thing for the companies.
Commissioner Mike Francis voted in favor of the payout changes, but says even with the changes, Louisiana has much more affordable energy costs than other states. Another vaping-related illness, this one in Austin, Texas. Dr. David Kaler, an emergency room doctor at Baylor just outside of Austin, where the patient is being treated.
The bottom line is you shouldn't do it. And even if you don't have the horrible effects of having one of these lung diseases, I mean, the long-term effects, we just don't know.
This comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention investigates 6 deaths and more than 450 cases of lung illnesses nationwide. Parts of the Bahamas left in ruins after Hurricane Dorian swept over the country as a Category 5 storm. At least 50 deaths confirmed, but that number expected to rise, with an estimated 2,500 still missing. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis spoke in a televised address.
More than ever, we must live the values of the gospel in order to renew the face of God's earth on Abaco and Grand Bahama that has been destroyed by one of the gravest tragedies in our history.
During the address, he announced a future National Day of Mourning would be held to pay tribute to the victims. New nominees to the Toy Hall of Fame. The smartphone is on the list because you can play so many games on it. Also nominated this year, Matchbox Cars, The Coloring Book, Jenga, My Little Pony, and Care Bears. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, let's take a vote. Let's take a poll. because we do lots of polls all the time at KEELnews.com, KEEL app.
Okay.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. Ruben, you're included in this because
Sure,
you are,
why
as
not?
always, the deciding vote. It's Erin's hormones are so grossly out of whack
Yeah, they are
that I
whacked
think she
out.
may be beyond salvation. Who
Oh,
votes
no.
yes? I vote yes.
Oh, yeah.
I vote yes.
Okay, so it's
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
it's yeah. The motion passes. So you said a couple of seconds ago, you said Major Pibb, and I said, what is that? A new motion picture?
Yeah.
From 21st Century Fox. I don't know what it is. Okay, Pibb, panties in bunch.
Yeah.
What on earth could have your P's in a B this morning?
Well, it's this Toy Hall of Fame thing, okay? Toy Hall of Fame nominates toys that should be in the Hall of Fame for causing joy and children's love and laughter over years or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you get into a Hall of Fame, Robert, based on pretty much being a good product and longevity over time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the Toy Hall of Fame this year, here's the nominees. You ready? The Care Bears.
Sure.
Got it. Coloring books. How are coloring books not already in?
They should be the
Yes.
Ty Cobb of toys.
Yes.
They should have been first voted in.
Yes. Jenga. Maybe it's Jenga's time.
I have no idea what that is.
That's
That's
that
the
wooden
game.
block thing. You pull the block out and try to stack it back on top.
So it's like a puzzle.
It's a
It just
yeah.
causes
sorta
me
kinda.
anxiety. I've avoided that
It's fun.
since childhood.
He-Man, Monsters of the Universe action figures.
Is that the one
I
that you
had
pull?
those.
Is that like a Stretch Armstrong guy?
No.
No, these are
No,
just
they're
action
just
figures.
plastic.
Like
toys.
G.I.
Yeah.
Joe for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Matchbox cars. How are they not in already?
They should have been in. Yeah.
A long time ago. My Little Pony. Maybe it's time for the pony. The Nerf Blaster.
Maybe it's time for
It's time for the pony.
Risk
Yeah.
is on the list.
Oh God, ruining families for 20
yeah,
years.
that's
Risk.
a good game. The Fisher Price Corn Popper.
That's
it
not
could
a
wait.
One of those
toy.
baby toys.
Yeah, it
that
could wait.
pops when you roll it. Yeah.
It could wait a year or two. Magic the Gathering card game. I've never even heard of
never
it,
played
so it
that,
needs to
yeah.
wait. The top. The spinning top.
Yeah.
How is the top not on in the Toy Hall of Fame yet?
That goes back to like 200,000 BC.
You know,
I think their
I
pharaohs were
know.
playing with that.
I did.
And-
Knuckle dragging Neanderthals were rolling the top.
I covered this last year on one of my weekend shows, and the Slinky had just made it in
I
last
know.
year. Yeah.
And here's the one that's really make me feel like I got a thong on today.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
The smartphone.
Yeah.
A, it's not a freaking toy.
I guess.
And B, it's not
A
that
freaking
new.
toy. Yeah, okay.
They say that it's on the list because so many people play games on their smartphone. And
Well, maybe the games themselves should be in the toy hall.
yes, but the smartphone, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And ixnay on the art phone smay. Please.
Great.
That's igpay Latin attenlay.
I think I got it.
When
How
your
do you-
panties are in a bunch, you don't talk right, Ruben.
How do you speak broken pig Latin?
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway near Linwood Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. What do you think about the Antonio Brown thing?
Ooh, it's getting really rough. What have the Patriots done? Are they waiting?
Just waiting to see what the NFL is going to do.
Okay.
So what do you think the NFL should do?
Oh.
Here he's been accused of rape by a former acquaintance, somebody that he admits he had a relationship with.
Yeah.
She's filed a civil suit now. This is going back a number of years, though.
Mm-hmm.
There were no criminal charges filed, nor will there be.
Right.
So what does the league do? Has the NFL put itself in a no-win by trying to do the right thing all along? Have they put themselves in a no-win situation? So if
real tough.
If they suspend, if they put him on what's it called, the you can't play but we're going to pay you list.
Mm-hmm.
There's an official name for it, I forget. If they put him on the you can't play but we're going to pay you list until it all gets hashed out, until it all gets settled, i.e. the NFL does its own investigation.
Right.
And it turns out there's nothing to it. What's Antonio Brown's recourse? What does he get? As the line goes, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Where does he get his name back?
And what does he get from her if it turns out that there's nothing to the charges? What happens to her? What penalty does she pay? Meanwhile, he has missed X number of games, hurting his career and his team, the Patriots.
Well,
and should the league, based on nothing more than accusations and a civil suit, what should their actions be, if any at all? You see, they've put themselves, the NFL, all along trying to do the right thing, has sort of inserted themselves into this legal process that maybe they are not only ill-prepared, but maybe it's not their business.
They don't want predators playing in the NFL.
Okay.
That's their goal, I guess.
But what should be the burden of proof, if not criminal?
Right. I mean, I'm not sure I understand why this was filed in a federal court, because I'm looking at it now and it's filed in a federal court. Perhaps because it was different states. I'm not sure. I just know that I've dealt with these kinds of cases before over my years, and though she may not be found the winner ultimately in this, because it's often a he said, she said, that doesn't mean that he didn't do anything wrong. That doesn't say he's innocent.
No, wait a second.
You follow me?
Wait. No. Because you're assuming, because she accused him, that he's guilty and that he should pay a price merely for being accused.
Well, I'm the kind of person that...
Should he pay a price merely for being accused?
If he's completely innocent and all this is bogus,
that's not what I asked.
He shouldn't.
No. Not how it turns out. At this point, should Antonio Brown pay a price merely for being accused?
No, you shouldn't pay a price for being accused.
So as far as you're concerned, he should get to play.
My problem is, in cases like this, I hate to say this, but I lean in favor of believing the woman.
Why?
Because I just know so often to come forward with these kinds of accusations, to know what is going to happen to your life, to know what's going to... She's put her name out there, etc.
What happens to her life?
Oh, she can't... She's being followed. She's being tracked by media. She's being hounded. She can't live at her home. Her family members are being contacted. Her name is put in every publication you can find.
Let me throw this out there. Take it in a little...
You don't want to go through that.
Let me throw this out there.
Who wants to come out and say, I was raped?
How much did she sue him for?
There's money involved. I get you.
Let me throw this out there. Take this in a little different direction. If we create a culture, a sports culture, where a player is going to be suspended, not allowed to play, based on nothing more than an accusation. Follow me on this now. If a player is going to be suspended, not allowed to play based on nothing more than an accusation, as we live in a country where sports gambling becomes more and more prevalent, legal in more and more and more states, who's to, and I'm not saying these two are related, but what's to keep anyone from accusing a player of a crime merely to get them off the field to affect the odds, to affect the team's chances of winning?
Of course. You're going to have that. Of course. There will be all kinds of things that will come out. And I don't like that. I just know, based on history and based on cases that I've seen before. Now, I've never dealt with anything where you've got a high-profile, wealthy accusee.
Back to my initial question. We got to go. What price should he pay merely for being accused? 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Weather Channel forecast, sunny and hot and humid again today. High later today, below 100, maybe 95 or 96. Right now, 72 degrees at Keel at 750. Here is your money now. .107 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic time. Sports update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The second week of the NFL season kicks off with an NFC South clash between Carolina and Tampa Bay. Both teams suffered losses in their openers, with the Panthers nearly upsetting the Rams, while the Bucs blundered their way to a 2-touchdown loss at home against San Francisco. The Saints were the only NFC South team to win their opener, but they certainly had some problems in that wild win over Houston. The team should be better in the trenches defensively this week with the return of defensive tackle David Onyemata, who served a one-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Teammate Sheldon Rankin said Onyemata is, quote, a literal quiet storm. He doesn't really say much until he hits the white lines, and then he talks the most trash of probably anybody on the team. There will most likely be a large amount of trash talking Sunday when the Saints battle the Rams in California in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship that turned on a controversial no call late in the game. High school football week 2 in Louisiana kicks off tonight with Magnolia Charter hosting Wassman at Loyola's Messer Stadium. The Astros took it on the chin, falling 5-3 to Oakland last night, but it was a monumental night in Major League Baseball when Jonathan Villar of the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on Wednesday for the 6,106th home run of the season, setting a Major League record overall. Not Villar. He only has 22. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.107 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin, Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. What did it say? You're innocent until proven guilty or not? Is that what it said?
You're either innocent until proven guilty or you are not.
Shreveport Security Systems text line, Erin must be joking, her book deal, talk show circuit, money, fame, etc. Shreveport Security Systems text line, Erin is the reason I'm worried to death. My son at LSU will be accused with zero evidence and his life will be ruined. Shreveport Security Systems text line, it's a proven fact some women are willing to throw their dignity and reputation out the window for the potential of a payoff. Shreveport Security Systems text line, Duke Lacrosse. Interesting. Coming up just past 8 o'clock, I need to talk to you about Dak Prescott.
Okay.
And the reports were that a new near $30 million a year deal was imminent. And now it's not.
What's happened?
I honestly, I think it's probably just splitting hairs. I have no idea. I've never had a contract of that complexity. Now, when I was in Cleveland, as I say, when I worked at the level of the industry where an agent was required, the contract I had was about 60 pages. So you can just imagine. You can imagine. I mean, when you get into things, when you see things like I know that there's a lot of major league players, baseball players, and I'm sure professional athletes, but Cal Ripken comes to mind. That not only did he get a suite at whenever they were on the road and the team picked up the tab, but he got that suite at a hotel different from the one where the team was staying. For privacy's sake was his explanation. The point I'm making is there are so many little things, little accoutrements, just that you iron out. Oh, I found out that Erin has this in her contract, so I want this. I found out Ruben has that in his contract. I want that. But I think probably a deal in the $30 million range will be done, but I've got a question about that for you on the way. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Sean Hannity.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All those brave men, we call them America's finest, New York's finest, New York's greatest. Yeah, they were. They're the same people being pelted now with water in New York City and other cities. They're the same people being attacked often by anybody and everybody on one side of the political aisle. Never give the benefit of the doubt to a cop. Never, ever. Meanwhile, look at what they're going through today. The same people on 9/11, 18 years ago, are now being doused with water and groups of people laughing, or in the middle of a shooting in Pennsylvania, in Philly. Yeah, we'll go after those cops, too, and pelt them with objects as they're now trying to stop an active shooter that's trying to kill people.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, you know when you discover something brand new and you feel like you just have to tell everybody about it? Well, that's how I feel about Juul. Now, Juul is a satisfying alternative to cigarettes, and I'm passionate about it, and I've been trying to convert every single family member, every friend who still smokes. Now, Juul is not like any of those complicated vaporizers that maybe you've seen and tried, but it's by far the best I've ever personally used. It is so simple to use. No buttons, no switches. You just insert the Juul pod, and I'm ready to go. And the best part is Juul has no cigarette ash, no odor, no mess. That means I don't have to worry about the way my hands, my clothes, or my breath smell. And I 1,000% recommend Juul, Juul. Now, if you're one of 34 million Americans, adults who smoke, know there is a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Go to Juul.com/SwitchAmerica. That's Juul.com/SwitchAmerica. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Weather Channel forecast. Sunny, hot, humid today. Little bitty chance of rain, a scattered shower late in the day. High today in the upper 90s, 72 at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning, just past 8. It's Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, and local news is up next.
AT&T customers not happy today. We'll tell you why. Another sales pitch on the bond issue, this time in the Stoner Hill neighborhood. And 2 people die in separate crashes on area roads.
City councilman told us yesterday that Shreveport is a city, what was it, teetering on the verge of bankruptcy. I may be a word or two off, but I'm not far off.
Right.
We will discuss, we will examine, maybe we'll take up a collection. And I got a couple of Dak Prescott questions for you.
Okay.
If you were his agent, what would you do?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Hold your horses. I will ask you specifics. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
AT&T customers have been complaining about service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem's been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working non-stop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. Another sales pitch on the bond issue. We get that from Reuben Wright.
You have another chance tonight to voice your concerns about the proposed bond issue in Shreveport. The mayor and other city leaders will be at Valencia Park on Viking Drive at 6 p.m. for a community forum to outline the 3 propositions and hear questions from local residents. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
2 fatality crashes. One happened on the Terry Bradshaw Passway near West 70th Street. It happened about 7:30 last night when a pickup truck was headed east, but for some reason left the roadway rolling several times. A woman believed to have been the driver was ejected and pronounced dead. A passenger taken to the hospital. And a Texas man died in a crash in DeSoto Parish. This wreck happened just after 3 p.m. on Highway 171 when a big rig without a trailer ran off the roadway, hitting an embankment. The driver, 44-year-old Christopher Jones of Carthage, pronounced dead at the scene. An audit of Shreveport's finances shows some serious concerns in the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones says the administration is committed to establishing best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls. Councilman Grayson Butcher says he hopes these glaring issues will help make things better.
Knowing that you have a problem is the best way to get things done, is to get things fixed, is knowing that there is a problem that exists. And I think that this audit, once it's released, is going to be a real eye-opener for a lot of the citizens.
Butcher confident the administration is taking the steps needed to correct the issues highlighted in the audit. An independent poll surveying the job performance of several elected officials, including Senators John Kennedy and Bill Cassidy, Governor Edwards, and President Trump. Pollster Bernie Pincinat says 54% of the chronic voters polled have a favorable rating of the commander-in-chief compared to 43% who rated him poorly.
Sometimes he goes up to 57, 58, 59, but he also has high negatives with Democrats, 76%.
Meantime, a statewide poll finds that 47% of voters support Governor Edwards as he seeks a second term in office. If he reaches 50% plus 1 on October 12th, he wins the election outright without a runoff. Republicans Ralph Abraham and Eddie Risponi are at 24 and 16%, respectively. A 9-year-old boy in Ohio had his hot lunch taken away in the school cafeteria, and he was given a cheese sandwich instead because he had a balance on his account. To make matters worse, it was the youngster's birthday. And Madonna says she's got a new policy at all of her concerts in the future. No more cell phones allowed. Concert goers will have to lock them up in little pouches and get them unlocked when they leave the show. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for traffic. Ruben's here.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
.117 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Joining us for a bit is on the road, Shreveport City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller. Where are you? What are you doing this morning?
I'm in Lafayette. I'm at this Early Childhood Institute for Leadership Policymakers. Basically, last night we had this really enlightening dinner about brain growth and development from birth until adulthood. And today we're going to be talking about how trauma affects the brain at different stages in life, so that we have a better idea what we're working with when we talk about young children and education and how we can actually play a better part in making the world a better place for them.
Cool. Well, speaking of trauma, let's talk legislators' audit of the city of Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard about that? What have you seen? Is your response to seeing some of the results, some of the findings? I don't want to put words in your mouth. What do you think?
I think the first thing we have to recognize is that a lot of the issues in this audit go back to the last administration, and that we do have some things that we need to untangle. We need to take action on it. But like everything else, we don't need to be hasty. Like, I'm not calling for anybody's head until we have a full view of everything and can review everything and get answers from our CAO and our finance director rather. I'm not one to pull a trigger without getting all my information and having all my ducks in a row, but you already knew that.
Let's kind of start here and sort of, you talked about unraveling and or unwinding, untying the knot. Do you think the problems that this audit says the city of Shreveport has in 2018, do you think it is something that is more the responsibility, I don't want to say fault, yes I will, the fault of an individual or the system itself?
It could be. I've got friends that love the Taco Bell commercial, ¿Por qué no los dos? Why can't it be both? I think it's a little bit of both, but I think what we have to do now is actually not kick the can down the road any further. And I think you've got the kind of council that is going to do that. And it might get a little ugly, and it might seem a little, it might hurt some feelings, but we're not going to get anywhere if we don't hurt a few feelings. I think we need to look at the system as it is, make the corrections we need to make, and also hold people accountable if necessary, when necessary. Why is that dude looking in my car?
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry. I'm like looking out the window at the hotel, and there's like a dude literally looking in my car right now.
He might like you. He might be flirting.
Well, we're in Lafayette. I've never seen him before.
Okay, I'm gonna shift the train down a different track for just a minute, and I am getting some information that I don't know how accurate it is or not, but that there is some.
Why not jump on it anyway? Because that's what we do.
Yes, that there is some tension. And that some council members, you were included in this group, have concerns about something having to do with the Shreveport Fire Department. What can you tell us today about that? What have you asked of the mayor?
The first thing is you started with a subjective, talking about tension, which means you definitely got information from a gossip. I wonder if it's a known gossip. I wouldn't say tension. It came to us that there was some potentially politically leaning illegal activity as far as campaign type stuff, where someone might have said, vote this way, or the next time you can do this, get rid of this person. And if you're in a position if you're in a civil service position, you do that, that is illegal. And so you ask for that to be investigated.
So
those are the facts right there.
Okay, so the details of this are that there are possibly civil service rules violated by the fire chief of Shreveport. Am I on the right train?
Well, you're definitely at the right station now. Yeah.
Okay. But
I wouldn't say that there's anything about tension and all this stuff. Remember, when we're talking to me, we leave the field. Remember what did I say in that one time in council? I don't want to hear about fruit or feelings anymore. I'm not here for apples to apples, and I'm not here for how you feel. I want data. I want facts.
Okay. Did the fire chief encourage employees to vote for the bond proposal?
I think it was not just about voting for the bond proposal. I think it had something to do, from what I've heard, with saying that the next time I'm up for office, to vote against me and my colleagues that voted no to put in the ballot to voting no to putting this bond issue on the ballot.
You guys have evidence of that?
Well, that's what an investigation is for, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You brought this to the attention of the mayor. How did that conversation go?
It was actually Mr. Butcher, Councilman Butcher, who brought it to the attention of the mayor, and it seemed like it was a fairly clear, chill meeting. Just if that's what happened, it's not acceptable, and we'll look into it. Okay. There were only 4 people in that room, so I wonder how you got your info. See what I mean again about gossip?
I understand it. You know, that building.
I mean, I guess it's not the first time that we've gotten little blind items like this, though, huh?
That building's like my pasta strainer. It's got holes in it everywhere.
Evidently, it's got them right in that second floor corner office.
Well, do you, Lavette Fuller, if this actually happened, do you want the fire chief fired?
No, I want to follow the policies as they're written. I don't have a problem with Chief Wolverton. I think he's doing a pretty decent job. Like anything, no one's ever going to agree on everything, ever. But that doesn't mean that you throw the whole baby out with the bathwater.
Mm-hmm. We had an incident of this during the Ollie Tyler administration when some public dollars were used to promote an election, and it was done with city letterhead. That happens from time to time. Somebody doesn't realize what they're doing. Could that be a case in this incident? Could that have happened here?
You know, that's what an investigation is for, is to find out.
Okay. In the 1 to 10 scale of you're real angry about this, where are you?
A -1.
Okay. So you're not too upset about it yet?
I don't get upset about stuff. I mean, like I said, this is about facts and feelings. If we find out something happened, then it needs to be, the consequences need to measure what we find out actually happened. That's a pretty dry thing. I don't go around getting my feelings hurt when people don't agree with me on stuff. They can be wrong. It's fine.
How did it come to light?
That was a joke, Erin.
I got it. I'm just wondering, how did it come to light?
Really, you'd have to talk to Councilman Butcher. I learned about it from him, and it's a matter of what he wants to tell you about how he found out about it.
Okay. Well, you're going to learn some cool things, because I've learned a lot about that brain development and trauma.
Yeah, I'm actually someone that's, I actually am able to give the average childhood experiences presentation, which is all about how adverse experiences hurt your health in youth all the way into adulthood. It's a huge it's our biggest public health thing that's happening in our generation, or my generation. And we can link child abuse, drug abuse, watching your family go through a divorce, watching your mom being hit by your dad. All these things impact you in a way that can lead later in life to heart disease and a lot of other interesting stuff. So anytime people want that presentation, I'm available to give it to groups. And I'm just excited to get to learn more about that stuff so we can start making a difference in the city.
When you get back, you need to come in and share it with us.
All right, then.
You bet.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Thanks.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Sports just ahead. Fletcher standing by. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up to Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Attention.
.107 FM and 710 Keel and Sports Time. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The second week of the NFL season kicks off with an NFC South clash between Carolina and Tampa Bay. Both teams suffered losses in their openers, with the Panthers nearly upsetting the Rams, while the Bucs blundered their way to a 2-touchdown loss at home against San Francisco. The Saints were the only NFC South team to win their opener, but they certainly had some problems in that wild win over Houston. The team should be better in the trenches defensively this week with the return of defensive tackle David Onyemata, who served a one-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Teammate Sheldon Rankin said Onyemata is, quote, a literal quiet storm. He doesn't really say much until he hits the white lines, and then he talks the most trash of probably anybody on the team. There will most likely be a large amount of trash talking Sunday when the Saints battle the Rams in California in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship that turned on a controversial no-call late in the game. High school football week 2 in Louisiana kicks off tonight with Magnolia Charter hosting Wassman at Loyola's Messer Stadium. The Astros took it on the chin, falling 5-3 to Oakland last night, but it was a monumental night in Major League Baseball when Jonathan Villar of the Baltimore Orioles hit a home run on Wednesday for the 6,106th home run of the season, setting a Major League record. Overall, not Villar, he only has 22. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Before we get back to the serious stuff, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app is a free download and pretty darn awesome from Office Furniture Source.
Yes.
I mentioned this to somebody a couple of days ago. I mentioned it to you a couple of minutes ago, and you were astounded. You were astonished. And I said, the dryer that I have in my utility room, it's and works perfectly.
Right.
I bought in 1991.
Whoa. That's what?
The dryers.
That's 28 years old.
The dryers normally not last.
That's older than Reuben.
That's not true. But.
Almost.
Do home appliances, for the most part, like dryers, normally not last?
No, that should have been toast a long time ago.
That was also the end of the era when they were still making things to last.
Oh, yeah, they were good ones.
I had a 93 truck that is still running till the guy sold it.
I mean, I bought it when I was in Orlando, Florida. I had always lived in apartments that had to go to, like, the laundromat, be it off campus or on. The point being, I moved into this place in Orlando, Florida in January of 91, and it's got like washer and dryer space. I'm going, this is awesome. So I went and bought a washer and dryer. Washing machine died a long time ago. Dryer, still running. Doesn't rattle, doesn't make, just like the day I bought it.
Well, you know the rule. You've unplugged it, you've moved it out, so you put the floor in. When you put it back, it's not going to work.
Here's the deal, and here's what I was thinking about. And somebody pointed this out, and I think it's not an invalid point to make. Is that I said to them that I bought this dryer in 1991, and they said, "Wow, almost 100 loads." And it dawned on me that though I've had this for like 28 years, I've probably, because it's just me, I've probably only used it 1/3 as many times.
Oh, yeah, as most families
So
would
if an
have.
average dryer would last, say, 10 years, mine's lasted 30 years because...
Oh, because it's just you.
Because I don't have nearly as much laundry.
Yes.
Okay, so if you heard our interview, we just wrapped it up with Councilwoman Lavette Fuller.
Oh, boy.
In a sentence or two, the middle portion of that interview involved what? That you heard from whom? What can you say? And she said, Erin, I don't like this innuendo. I don't like this gossip stuff.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you who I heard it from, but I'm very suspicious of these kinds of things, especially when we've got an election looming.
But
you
threw it out there.
I asked her if I could ask her about it. She didn't say no, and she told us what has happened from her perspective, anyway.
In other words, if it had been totally made up, if it were total. She
would have said it's BS.
Said, there's nothing to that. So what
it's
is
a scam.
it we're talking about?
Well, apparently there's been a conversation with the mayor and 3 council members, Butcher, Nicholson, and Fuller. Those were the 3 that voted no on the bond proposition. They apparently went into the mayor's office after the city council meeting this week and had a meeting with him. And one of the topics that came up had to do with the fire chief, Scott Wolverton. And there were some concerns. She didn't tell me how it came to light. She said it came to light to Grayson Butcher. But she said something came to light that the fire chief was asking or encouraging,
being perhaps
or
a little too hands-on in his is he pro or con?
Well, of course he's pro the bond issue.
Okay,
he's got
so
stuff in it.
He's pro, perhaps a little too hands-on in his endorsement of the bond issue.
And urging employees to vote for it was what they were discussing with the mayor, which would be a violation of civil service rules. And they encouraged and have urged the mayor to investigate.
But honestly, is that we having seen that a bunch of times in our 5 years here on KEEL?
Yeah, that happens a lot. It really does.
And it's at what point is someone forbidden from giving their opinion about something?
It's pretty clear. You can't use city or government computers, stationery, letterhead, copy machines, anything that is owned by the public.
But the point I'm making
is you can't
we
use
don't
it to
know-
campaign.
We don't know that this was a verbal endorsement at a lunch,
You
at
don't
a
know.
get-together, passing conversation in his office,
Right.
etc.
Right.
So when you say investigation, you make it sound like it's Watergate, for crying out
Well,
loud.
I know that some public employees, they can't even put a sign in their yard for a candidate. You know, they're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to campaign.
Well, we had the situation involving a previous mayor that you had to point out to them that they had actually printed a campaign piece, an endorsement of a certain proposal, and you pointed out to them, I don't think you can do this.
You can't do this, no.
I don't think you can use city money to print this stuff up. And they had it, and they went, wow, I guess we can.
You're right, and they reprinted it, but somebody else had to pay for it, I guess. But, it's one of those things. There are just some things you can't do. Now, I have reached out to the mayor's office to find out, have you asked for an investigation? Has this come up? What are you doing about it? Have not heard back from them yet. I mean, I just sent an email. I spoke with the fire chief just a moment ago, Scott Wolverton, and I asked him about it. And I asked him if I invited him to come on if he wanted to respond. I hate to do one side and not the other. And Chief Wolverton said he will have no comment. So he's not going. And I understand that. I get that.
Is there in your mind, let's talk about, is there in your mind a difference between looking into and investigating?
Oh, of course.
And are we at the point now where they really just wanted the mayor, where they really wanted Mr. Adrian to just look into it as opposed to investigate?
They want more than a look into. They if civil service rules were violated, the word suspended was used in one of the emails and texts I got. Does that rise to the level of you want the fire chief suspended or not?
How's about if there's someplace between look into and investigate?
Well,
maybe that's where they need to go.
Well, as Levette said in the interview, and I need to go back and get the direct quote, if he's twisting arms and saying things like, if you don't vote for this, X will happen.
Pardon me once again.
Then I have a more serious issue.
Who is saying that? And to go and to say
that's
somebody's
the problem.
saying he's twisting arms with welcome to Antonio Brown's world, Chief Wolverton.
Absolutely, and that's why you ask for an investigation. I want to call it the person who is making that accusation, who apparently brought it to the attention of a city council member, needs to come in and sit before whoever's investigating
and
it.
Put their evidence forth.
And say, show me what you got.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Shed Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
You have another chance tonight to voice concerns about the proposed bond issue in Shreveport. The mayor and other city leaders will be at Valencia Park on Viking Drive at 6 p.m. for a community forum to outline the three propositions and hear questions from local residents. It's tonight at Valencia Park, again on Viking Drive. Trouble with one telecommunications company. Reuben Wright with that.
AT&T customers have been complaining about the service in Shreveport for more than a week. They've been without phone and internet service for 11 days. The problem has been traced to a fire near AT&T equipment under the Common Street Bridge. Technicians have been working nonstop to get the repairs made. About 1,500 customers were affected. From the news desk of 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Trouble with an audit of Shreveport's finances. It shows some serious concerns in the finance department. CAO Sharika Fields-Jones says, though, the administration is committed to establishing best practices and maintaining adequate financial controls, and changes are being made. Councilman Grayson Butcher, though, has some serious concerns.
It's just it's a very scary thing for a city that's teetering on bankruptcy anyway, for us to be in a situation like this.
You just said our city's teetering on bankruptcy.
Well, I mean, it is. I feel like it is. I mean, we have a lot going on, and I mean, you think about all the debt that we have, Erin. You and I have discussed this before.
Fields-Jones says the administration takes the matter seriously and has been extremely proactive in addressing concerns. On a 3-2 vote, the Public Service Commission gave the thumbs up on new rules that will lower the amount power companies pay solar users that feed their excess energy into the grid from 10 cents per kilowatt hour to 4 cents. Public Service Commissioner Foster Campbell voted against the measure.
They don't want you to have it, but they want to get in the business, and they want to have a lot of solar power. How hypocritical can you be? If it's not a good thing for the people, it certainly couldn't be a good thing for the companies.
Commissioner Mike Francis voted in favor of the payout changes, but says even with the changes, Louisiana has much more affordable energy costs than other states. Another vaping-related illness, this one in Austin, Texas. Dr. David Kaler, an emergency room doctor at Baylor just outside of Austin, where the patient is being treated.
The bottom line is you shouldn't do it. And even if you don't have the horrible effects of having one of these lung diseases, I mean, the long-term effects, we just don't know.
This comes as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention investigates 6 deaths and more than 450 cases of lung illnesses nationwide. Parts of the Bahamas left in ruins after Hurricane Dorian swept over the country as a Category 5 storm. At least 50 deaths confirmed, but that number expected to rise, with an estimated 2,500 still missing. Prime Minister Hubert Minnis spoke in a televised address.
More than ever, we must live the values of the gospel in order to renew the face of God's earth on Abaco and Grand Bahama that has been destroyed by one of the gravest tragedies in our history.
During the address, he announced a future National Day of Mourning would be held to pay tribute to the victims. New nominees to the Toy Hall of Fame, the smartphone is on the list because you can play so many games on it. Also nominated this year, Matchbox Cars, The Coloring Book, Jenga, My Little Pony, and Care Bears. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
One 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, she says to me during the break, because you're going to lunch with your son today. Where should we go? And I said, we'll go to Papa and Company. She said, I was just there Friday. I said, yes, and?
Oh, it's delicious.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been 6 whole days.
It might be a muffy time.
Beg
It
your
really
pardon?
might be muffle at a time.
That's
I'm feeling it.
I tried to eat a half of those one time. I was overwhelmed.
I ordered a full one, not realizing it's the size of a record album.
Yeah, literally.
And can feed 4 people. It lasted me 3 days.
That's interesting to know that if you get one of Papa's muffalettas to go, that if you're going to go home like and watch football, you get one to go, that you literally can feed practically 4 people.
Yes.
With one sandwich.
You could even cut it into smaller and make like quarters out of it, and it's perfect for your football party.
So, next time you're looking for a spot, a great spot for lunch. Papa and Company on East Washington, Trust us. Tell me about the bread.
Oh, they make the bread homemade right there. It is soft and
so
delicious.
Literally every sandwich they make
it right there.
The bun, the bread is made right there in shop.
Yeah, it's not that Sunbeam stuff with those nasty sesame seed things. It's a real homemade bun.
We were doing good until then. Papa and Company on East Washington. When you stop by, A, you'll probably see us. B, tell them we said hello. Okay, so we're going to go to break here in a second. And when we come back, Erin McCarty, a little role playing.
Who do I get to be?
You are going to be Dak Prescott's agent.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you are going to make decisions because, there's all this talk. It's imminent. A $30 million a year deal. The franchise tag. I don't know how all this stuff works. The point being, I'm going to put you in the position of being his agent, and I want you sort of vicariously, indirectly to
get him 30 mil?
Plot his career course.
All right.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, traffic time.
Looking right now at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up to Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
The musician, the musicologist, the well-rounded fellow in the room, producer Ruben.
Yeah.
Are you a fan? Are you aware of Bumper Music, Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros?
I am aware of them, yes.
Interesting band. I think they're
pretty
freaking
cool, yeah.
awesome. Yeah. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. There is online Keel website at keelnews.com and the Keel app because it's pretty awesome also. You put this post up, was it yesterday or the day before? Some of the greatest lines, the greatest singular remarks in the history of our history on Keel.
Yeah.
And there's Sheriff Steve, quote, that's enough to piss a feller off.
Yes.
Which is a classic. I'm trying to, Lloyd Thompson, NAACP guy. I ain't mad about that yet.
Right.
There's a bunch, and they're all listed, and they're incredible.
And if you've ever spoken to us, you might be on the list.
Now, here's the deal. There is one, because of a remark you made yesterday morning, I just want to bring this up again.
Well, some of them are mine, by the way.
Well, this is one that must indeed go on the list, because you do have a history, you do have a habit, you do have a talent for
butchering the English language,
mixing metaphors.
Yes, I do that occasionally.
And the one that you did yesterday in the midst of our conversation with Councilman Butcher, you said, and this was talking about the bit by bit being released information on the state auditor's audit of the finances of the city of Shreveport. And you said, so, quote, here it is, which of those is glaring out the loudest? and whatever momentum, whatever tempo there was to our conversation with Councilman Butcher, you pumped the brakes hard on that one, kid.
Right.
Glaring out the loudest. So that is added to the list of all our list of infamy, if you will.
Right.
And let me be the first to say, you've done it again. Which of those was glaring out the loudest?
Yeah.
Okay, so this goes back a couple or 3 years. Off the top of your head, the LSU players who, as the bowl game approached, I know Christian McCaffrey, not an LSU guy, obviously, but he played for Stanford, and he plays for Carolina now, and he sat out the bowl game. And it was, well, the bowl game doesn't mean that much, i.e. it's not a championship game, and I don't want to take a chance on getting hurt because I'm in line for a $10 or $15 or $20 million guaranteed contract.
Right.
Who were the LSU guys? A few of the LSU guys, was Greedy Williams one of those? Did he play? I don't recall for sure.
I know back before that, Leonard Fournette sat out.
Leonard Fournette sat out, eventually drafted by Jacksonville, and his logic was?
He didn't want to get hurt.
Let me rephrase the question.
The game didn't matter.
His logic was, with which you 100% agreed. Okay, who else was on that list?
Devin White played. I'm trying to think to see. I think Greedy sat out. I'm not. I may be wrong. I apologize if
the
I'm
point
wrong.
being, there were 2 or 3 or more LSU players and a whole bunch of players nationwide, big program, D1 schools, who basically said, no, I don't want to take a chance on getting hurt before the NFL draft. I'm skipping the bowl game.
Right.
No matter what it might mean to my team or my school or recruiting down the line.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to take a chance on killing the golden goose, which is me.
Greedy did sit out, FYI.
And for the record, you 100% said you understood.
I do.
And you, if that were your kid, you would urge them to do the same thing. Dak Prescott is on the verge, according to all reports, of signing a $30 million a year deal.
Right now he makes $2 million a year.
$30 million a year, maybe even more.
Right.
And Dak went out. He's on the verge. The contract is imminent, and yet nothing's been done.
Nope.
So my question to you is, Dak going out this last week against who did the Cowboys play?
New York.
The Giants. And he had an awesome day.
25 of 32, 405 yards. He kicked some serious bahani.
So here's my question to you. If you're Dak Prescott's agent right now, looking back on your history, your tradition of saying, guys, you might want to sit out that bowl game, you might get hurt. You're on the verge of a huge payday. We don't want to kill the golden goose, which is you. If you were Dak Prescott's agent right now, despite the fact it's one game into the season, if you were his agent, would you tell Jerry Jones, love you, love the Cowboys, know you're going to do me right, but I'm not going back out there until the deal's done?
Ooh.
Would you hold out after one game? Ezekiel Elliott just held out, got his deal. The difference is Zeke did it before the season. So as many, in the eyes of many, negative ramifications as there were, he's selling out the team. He's not doing the team right. He should be in camp. He should be playing. He should be negotiating, just like Dak.
Well,
but you know who's got a new deal? Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke does.
You know who doesn't have a new deal?
Dak
Prescott. So
he's rejected $30 million.
So I'm asking you once again, based on your history of siding with collegiate players, saying, nope, you don't want to kill that golden goose, which is you. You might get hurt. Don't play in that bowl game. It's
it's different.
Explain to me how.
This is your livelihood.
If he had
Dak Prescott's price tag went up based on how he performed against New York.
But Ezekiel Elliott held out, and he got the deal. Why wouldn't you?
Dak could be getting more now.
What if he gets hurt? What if he goes out next weekend and blows a knee?
That could happen to him at any point. This is his pro career. He's playing pro ball.
that's
It's
the
not
whole-
a college bowl game.
But that's
that
the whole
is
point.
meaningless.
Okay.
These games have meaning. You could be earning your way to the Super Bowl by every game you play in right now.
Were you, in your mind, as critical of Ezekiel Elliott for holding out and missing the potential of missing X? He said, I'm not playing. I don't get a new deal. I ain't playing. I didn't hear you barking at Ezekiel Elliott.
I don't care how they handle it them personally for themselves. I think for Dak, he's helping himself by his performance.
Did you think Ezekiel Elliott was wrong to hold out?
No. And if
Well,
I
wait,
were
wait,
his
wait.
agent, I would have said, that's okay. If you
Then
want to, go
why-
ahead.
Then why?
For Dak, he thinks he wants to get out there and perform, and
But
he's
I
making
want
his
you
money
to
better.
I want you to be Dak's imaginary agent.
Mm-hmm.
If you had been Ezekiel Elliott's agent, you said, yep, you did the right thing by holding out. If you were the agent for all those LSU guys that skipped the bowl game, you're saying, yep, I'm on your side. You guys are 100% in the right.
Well, I would tell Dak, listen, Dak, you had a great game against New York. They offered us 30. I think I can get you 40. If you go out and have another spectacular game, I think we're pressuring them into bumping it up to 40.
Imagine the pressure if he said, I ain't going back out there until I get my cash, until I get paid, as
Yeah.
the kids say.
I know.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Remind me not to hire you as my agent. Traffic time. Here's Ruben. Or maybe Weather Channel forecast.
Yeah.
Weather Channel forecast, kind of sunny and hot and humid again today. It's going to be close to 100 every single day into the weekend. Little bitty chance of scattered showers late in the day. High later today in the middle to upper 90s. It's 74 at Keel.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
On Tuesday night, Republican Dan Bishop won a special election in North Carolina, thanks in part to President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, both of whom showed up to campaign.
And similarly, right here in Louisiana, gubernatorial candidate Addie Risponi is hoping the president's coattails extend all the way across the Appalachians and down to the Atchafalaya, because some have said if you didn't know any better, you might think President Trump was running for governor as a Republican against John Bel Edwards, the incumbent.
Risponi is trying to position himself as the Donald Trump of Louisiana. It'll be interesting to see if that strategy plays out coming up on Election Day.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 1017 FM and 710 Keel, and streaming live at keelnews.com.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to steal that out of my carport. I've got like
No.
100-year-old oven that I'm putting in new stuff. It's
Oh, boy.
it's horrible.
Mhm.
My brother looked at it and goes, "Does that work?" I said, "Yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of does." I said, "Don't turn that knob; it might explode."
I feel really guilty about putting a post up that I put up today.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, what you got?
It is a sign on Night Street
of
a speed zone.
Why do you feel guilty about this?
Well, I just do.
You're a
but
concerned citizen.
I thought it was funny for a little bit, and then I'm like, but man, that's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. You can see it at keelnews.com. The speed limit sign is completely covered with weeds. You cannot see the speed limit at all. You can see a little bit of the O, but you can't see the other side of the sign at all. So I'm curious how long it's going to take for them to fix it.
When you showed me that this morning, what was my response? I said, I want you to pay attention as you're driving around town over the next few days. So when you come to an intersection, how overgrowth or trees or bushes or things where you practically have to pull into the intersection
to see,
to get a clear view of the intersection.
Yes.
KeelNews.com, Keel app, easy download, free download, office furniture source. Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
The question I'm asked the most often is, Kim, what is Big Tech's next major disruption? Your Thursday Consumer Tech Update is brought to you by ExpressVPN, the only VPN I use. Get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Business disruptions have always been a part of America. Deregulation disrupted the airlines and the telephone company. Uber and Lyft disrupted taxis. Postmates disrupted the local pizza delivery service. Thanks to Expedia, the local travel agent is gone. So what's next? Consider residential real estate. It's top-heavy and runs pretty much the same as it has for decades. It generates $75 billion a year for agents and brokers. Now let's look at Zillow and Trulia, with 100 million active users every month, but only 6 million actually buy or sell. That's a lot of window shopping. Does it really take millions of people to sell homes? Your next home and mortgage can be easily done online. I'm Kim Commando. Dell has something extra for small businesses. Up to 45% off during their semi-annual sale. Update to Windows 10 with huge deals on business computers featuring Intel Core processors, plus free shipping on everything. Call Dell's Small Business Technology Advisors to help you achieve your business goals affordably with low monthly payments on the right tech for you. Just call 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/business-deals.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like online skills tests, which let a candidate show that they're the right hire. We'll also have a dolphin chatter excitedly in front of the perfect candidate. Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's a for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Moon standing by. Fox News just ahead. Right now, traffic update. Here comes Ruben.
Looking right now at some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. It's backed up to Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at the Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
A little change in our weather coming up over the next several days. The hot, dry weather will persist right on through Monday with daytime highs in the upper 90s. Sunshine today, 98. Clear tonight, 72. Sunny tomorrow, 98. Saturday, sunshine, 98. Dry Sunday, 98. Richard Weddick, the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.